Wow, Jacob, I haven't seen you in a while.
Me neither. After that tunnel incident.
Yeah, when the tunnel caved in,
Yeah,
man.
And Thomas the Tank Engine was there for some reason.
It was a wild one.
But Thomas taught us the meaning of friendship.
He sure did. And the true meaning of friendship was the Christmas we made along the way.
Wait, that's not what he's... I don't know.
It's okay. He was on something,
He
you know.
was high. He was definitely high.
I wasn't gonna clarify, but it's all right, Jacob. We'll keep going. We're in the car today. In case you guys hear any background noises, that's what it'll be. A little beep beep, a little honk honk, a little.
The car is not moving.
The car's not moving. We're just in the car because as we established in the last episode already about 6 weeks ago, we're in between recording spaces right now, so we're in the car. But something that is important today, Jacob, guess what's today?
What's today?
Today is the 1 year anniversary of our first post on YouTube. We might have posted a day early or something on Spotify, but we'll not worry about that.
Today we probably were figuring out how the logo was gonna. Actually, we had the different logo before.
Exactly. If you wanna find out about that logo, you gotta head on over to patreon.com/The Conspiracy Consultants. But without further ado, let's get into it. This is going to be a little homage, a little reminiscent of our very first episode.
How we came out of it was I definitely had a paper on Walt Disney that was due, and I was thinking about it. I'm pretty sure that's how we came up with
That's
the idea.
definitely exactly what happened, Jacob. You had an idea about your Walt Disney paper that you were writing, and we said, hey, you know what sells well? Disney sells well.
Sold
Since then, they sell a lot less well. But
yeah,
you know
but
what?
like, it was good for the time.
It was all right. Last year, different story. This year, new story. All right, but you know what we're going to talk about? We're going to talk about some myths and then some facts, right? Fact or cap. That's what the kids are always saying.
That's
fact
the game
or cap.
Yeah.
And so, you know what? We're going to start it off. I'm going to introduce a myth just like we did in the very first episode, and we're going to rate it on believability.
Well, can I start with my myth?
Oh, well, fine, Jacob.
Okay, well,
I see how it is.
So there was this myth, like, it's so stupid that, like, they were shutting down Dinosaur, And it just sounds so stupid to me that we shut down, like, the best ride at Animal Kingdom.
Dinosaur at Animal Kingdom that opened in the year 1998?
Why would they shut down that ride?
Hey, Jacob,
What?
Jacob, they're shutting down Dinosaur.
What do you mean they're shutting down Dinosaur?
They're replacing it with Indiana Jones.
Oh, wait, I love Indiana Jones. Never mind.
Oh, we're good. We're good. All right.
Ooh, almost had a mental breakdown.
Yeah, it's all right.
Right, guys.
It's all right.
Our generation of mental breakdowns, they go right together.
Relatable. But anyway, on to the very first myth. Jacob, this is actually a twist. This is a true fact that most people believe is a myth, okay? The myth, allegedly, is that there are real human bones on Pirates of the Caribbean.
Wait, that is a myth.
It's not a myth. When the ride originally opened in the 60s, one of the Californian universities donated to Disneyland. They donated some human bones, and so at least one of the skulls is a real human skull, and some of the bones were. Since then, they've transitioned to using mostly artificial. But I believe it is believed that one of the skulls on the ride is still real. I don't think it's like the main one, like above the doorway, but I think it's one of the skulls on the ride. So
first you tell me that Dinosaur is shutting down. Next you tell me that the skulls on Pirates of the Caribbean are real, Luke. You gotta stop
not the ones at Disney World. The ones at Disney World are made of plastic, or whatever they use to make fake skulls.
Yeah, probably use.
All right, Jacob. Do you have any actual myths for us? Any real things that are alleged?
I heard that Disney doesn't pay their taxes.
That is true. You did hear that, but it is.
Allegedly, also cruise ships don't, but that's not actually a myth. That's actually a thing where they do pay taxes, but they actually moved to Panama. I know this is really fast, but they moved to Panama, and they moved their business to Panama, and they said they're from Panama, but they're actually not paying any taxes, but they're actually set in the United States.
Yeah.
That's a call from Carnival. Every single big cruise ship brand does that.
Yeah, see, and the actual reason why they do it is because there's only one real American cruise ship, and I don't remember what it's called. It's like the Spirit of America or something.
Spirit is not a good name.
And so, but no, so you can look it up. Maybe it's the Pride of America. It's one of these cruise ships, but it's the only one that's American. Because the thing is, think about how much money you're basically in a hotel, but on the water. So like, you got to be paying a lot of income tax, like a lot of income tax,
all that
and a
gasoline,
lot of sales tax,
and a lot of HR because you know how much stuff you're leaving in that ocean.
and a lot of HR because you know what's going on that ship. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So
you know, and that one time where that one cruise ship spread COVID to the entire United States.
that's true. That's true. And like the guy who ate that bat.
Yeah.
I mean, misinformation. That was a joke.
Fun fact. When I first heard about COVID, I thought it was a computer virus.
Oh, okay. That new virus. To be fair, COVID-19 sounds like a computer virus.
I was like, dude.
Jacob, do you think that
that's why I thought the cruise ship was stuck because they hacked the cruise ship.
Do you think that on the YouTube video we're gonna get one of those little banners underneath that says like COVID-19 guidelines?
Yeah.
You know that we got we got that one on the Kennedy episode.
What?
The banner underneath it said like that has like a fact. Yeah, it's a Wikipedia link.
Oh my gosh!
And it was funny because it's not even the same Kennedy assassination.
Wrong Kennedy assassination.
It's okay. It's all right.
It's okay.
About to be 3 of them. You know what I'm saying?
You know.
That was a joke.
Another myth.
I will clarify. That was a complete joke. No one out here is out to get running. What do they call them when you're a candidate? We'll just call them candidate. I know there's some fancy term. Nobody's out here to get Bobby Kennedy Jr. Nobody would get him.
We love Bobby Kennedy Jr.
Love Bobby. Not that I'm voting for him, but I appreciate
respect the man.
I appreciate that he's running. I mean, think about the audacity this guy has to run. His uncle gunned down when he's president. His dad gunned down running for president. Him, you know what I should do? I'm gonna run for president. Let's go, Bobby. Go get those votes.
Here's another Disney myth I heard. That Disney spent a ton of money at the Super Bowl to get everybody to say, I'm going to Disney World.
Yeah, that's not a myth.
Wait, what do you mean that's not a myth?
They just pay the players to say that.
Did I look up the wrong list?
Did we both look up true Disney facts?
Oh, dang it, I did.
Oh, man. Oh, another myth. Disney's losing money hand over fist because their parks aren't making any revenue, and that's their biggest source of revenue, and their movies have all flopped.
Hey, let's just thank Bob Chapek being like, oh, we don't need the parks.
That's true. Let's elect somebody as CEO and president of the Disney company.
Iger is trying to cause as much. He's trying to fix everything. He was like, okay, dude, just don't mess up what I did. I was the best CEO in years, and then. Well,
bring back Michael Eisner. Bring him back.
Eisner, what? All Eisner did was create like at least one competitor for Disney that's now outselling them in every market.
The problem for Michael Eisner is like he did a great job for like the first 3 years, and then he just whiffed on Euro Disneyland, and then he just went, I guess I'm done doing a good job, and then did a bad job.
Yep.
So he also did kind of put all of his eggs in one basket with Euro Disneyland.
Yeah.
So, I guess that is kind of on him.
Yeah, and then I guess out of all of them, Iger probably had the least bad stuff happen.
That's true. But back to what we got to get some real meat in this episode. So what we're going to talk about is upcoming planned Disney expansions in their parks, and then coming events.
Oh wait, yeah. So I can just use my myth list, right?
Yeah, you can use your myth list, which is just facts. So let's start off with obviously the one that Jacob alluded to. Dinosaur is getting replaced.
Well, not just Dinosaur, Dino Land in general.
Dino Land in general is getting replaced.
Okay, we will allude to
a thing that we're working on. Jacob and I may or may not have been in Disney's Animal Kingdom in the last month.
When we went to Dino Land.
Dino Land was not looking too hot.
Dino Land, when I remember it from when I was a kid, is they had a ton of rides. Now they have like 2.
They had Triceratops spin, and they had like whatever the little like play area is.
Yeah.
The main ride in Dino Land that isn't Dinosaur, which is like Chester and Hester's Runaway something or other.
Yeah.
Whatever the actual like roller coaster type ride is.
Yeah.
It was like gone. Like not like boarded up. Like They tore it all the way down to the cement.
Like there was just a ton of concrete.
Yeah, it was just literally like a concrete parking lot where it was.
To be honest, it was just like a carnival ride. They just
Well, yeah, because the whole area was like themed like cheaply. But speaking of Dinosaur, Jacob and I may or may not have ridden Dinosaur, and the answer is may. We did ride Dinosaur, and that was pretty interesting because we both knew that it was going to be closing soon. But before the announcement was made officially, we obviously there's a lot of rumors going around.
We got it completely right too. I think
we did. We have a list of rides we needed to ride before they closed,
and we hit
all those rides, and every point except for Tower of Terror was correct so far. And if they were to announce that Tower of Terror will be getting a refurb, then we will be 100% right on the list of rides that we had to ride before they changed. The one that will change the least is probably going to be Test Track because we rode that, and
it was pretty fun.
It was fun, and from what I'm hearing, Chevrolet isn't going to be changing too much of it, but that's early rumor because it will still be sponsored by Chevrolet, so it's assumed that they're probably going to keep the car creation. They're just going to update the queue, make it a little more
they're
fun.
Keeping the car creation.
Now Jacob and I are going to have a hot take on this, and we're going to save this for our future upcoming thing, but we'll give a little allude to it now because we'll probably spend like 20 minutes talking about it, but like on in a later date. But the problem with Test Track is that if the queue led straight onto the ride, it would be literally a 10-minute wait. It'd be a 10-minute wait because the cars are always cycling. What happens, however, is you wait in line, then they hold you in a room, to wait to go into another room where you make your car for like 5 minutes, then they release you to line up and then get on the ride. Well, the problem is, it means that instead of the line moving smoothly and everybody kind of flowing in and getting on the ride, instead what happens is they will wait for all like 40 of the people to show up that they need to fill a room, then they'll release you. Well, the problem is, because of Disney's new Lightning lanes with the Genie Plus, it means that really what they're waiting is for the Lightning lane people to cycle through their line quickly, and then if there's gaps there, then they fill in with the regular standby queue.
If you don't understand, just watch the Fun Claim video.
Yeah,
explain fast passes.
But the problem is, it means that if you're standing in the regular queue, you are just standing there. Like it will go 2 people at a time, very, very slowly for the whole time. Like Jacob and I got on the ride with a 45-minute wait. It ended up being about 70 minutes total for us from the time we got in line to the time we got off the ride instead of 45.
We had other plans to do.
And we had other plans. We had other rides we wanted to ride. Here's the problem. That's not even the number one issue. The number one issue is that I could guarantee if they didn't have the design of car queue, it would have been a maximum 20-minute wait. Because if you get rid of the design of the car queue, you just get on the ride and you ride it like it used to be, where it was just themed like you're going on a crash course, it would be so much smoother, it'd be so much simpler, and there'd be way less hassle because people would just cycle onto the ride. Plus, that ride has a single rider line. The single rider line doesn't do the design of the car queue. They just get fed right onto the ride. And so some of you at home might be asking, well, guys, why didn't you just get in the single rider line? Well, one, because obviously we'd be getting put in separate cars. And 2, because Jacob and I wanted to stand in the queue to see how long it was going to be and see how interesting it was going to be because it was on our list of things that are going to change in the future.
Because the queue is an experience,
The queue is an experience, and the experience was a negative one. So that's our little tangent. We'll definitely talk about it more in an upcoming
strategy
thing that we're alluding to.
If you want to win, there's like a big board at the end that says how your car did. Always go for speed. Go full speed and you'll win.
Go full speed, and your car is going to look really ugly, but that doesn't matter because if you can get your speed to like the 90s, you're going to win. Like Jacob and I got second for the day. It was on literally all speed, no economics or whatever the green one is.
Also, tip that doesn't change anything for the ride. It does not.
Oh, that is true. Because I should clarify that because there are people who think that if you have faster speed in the ride, you're going to go faster. No. The car ride is the same every time, and it's always been the same because they really just rethemed the interior. Like the The ride has been the same since what, like the 90s, early 2000s,
Yeah.
whenever World of Motion became Test Track. And so the problem with it is that like literally there's no difference if you go in that queue or not. So they should just fix it.
The only I feel like you could still do the car creation thing. I just think there'd be a way better way of doing it.
Honestly, have the people scan a QR code and do it on their phones.
Yeah, do that.
I think that'd be a great thing because they already have the Disney Parks Play or whatever the app is called,
Yeah.
and that would be a way, way, way better idea. Honestly, I think that's what they'll probably be switching it to that, because that would work so much better. Is if you scan a QR code, it pulls up the thing, and then you just scan a QR code again when you're about to get on the ride, and it'll just link that to your car. And then it's completely optional. You can choose if you want to do that, or you can choose if you don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Or you do it for the Chevrolet app and make people download that Chevrolet app.
That's true. That's true. If they made everybody down the my Chevrolet app or whatever, then that would be great. Plus, they could start doing like sweepstakes or something.
Yeah. Like the best car.
Best car gets entered into a prize to win the brand new Chevy Equinox or whatever.
Yeah.
They would do so well if they would. Yeah, I think either one of those ideas, Disney Parks app or, as Jacob said, download the My Chevrolet app. I don't know if that's completely legal with the guidelines that Disney has with their sponsors. But to be fair, it is one of the very few sponsored attractions still at Epcot, so it doesn't really matter.
Disney sponsorships are kind of old.
That's true. Yeah, what is it? At Epcot, it's literally like you've got Enterprise, who sponsors like half of the stuff, and then you've got, because what they sponsor, Enterprise sponsors Spaceship Earth and the new Guardians of the Galaxy ride, if I'm not wrong. I believe the new Guardians of the Galaxy ride is also sponsored by Enterprise, and then you have Test Track, which is sponsored by Chevrolet, and I don't know that there's any other sponsorships. Ratatouille is obviously not sponsored. I don't think there's anything. Yeah, I think that's it. The Seas isn't sponsored, is it?
No.
And I know the Land Pavilion isn't sponsored anymore either, I think, because it used to be sponsored by Kraft and then by Chiquita.
Is Love It?
Or Chiquita was sponsoring Living with the Land, but
yeah. What was what's the like sky one where you fly over?
Soarin'?
Soarin', is that sponsored?
Not anymore, if I remember right.
I thought it might have been.
At one point, I think it was sponsored, but anyway. Let's divulge back to other things that Jacob and I got right and other Disney news. So obviously we said Dinosaur's closing. Another thing, Jacob and I went to Jacob's favorite stage show. It's Tough to Be a Bug.
It's horrible. Do not bring your kids to it. It was
actually really scary. Like
every single kid cried.
Like I'm sad it's closing because like I was gonna tell you all to go ride that, but like It's Tough to Be a Bug is just like it's disturbing. Like, so you put on the glasses, you go in the room, and then all the bug themed stuff is just a little spooky and a little eerie, and it's kind of dark, and the bad guys are all really scary looking, and then there's like loud noises and there's bugs flying at you.
And your chair pokes you.
And then this is Jacob's favorite part is there's a segment with the bees. And the chair actually has a stinger in it that it will actually poke you like with a really sharp object, and so you get a good poke. And the grossest thing is at the end of the ride, or the end of the show. Technically, it's an attraction, a show. At the end of the show, they have a joke about how, hey, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to stay seated so that all the bugs and all the creepy crawlies and everything can leave. And then the seats, the benches that you're on, they have these little like rumble strips that move underneath you, and it feels like there's bugs crawling underneath your seat, like underneath like your cushion, and it's so gross.
Like, I went into a squatting position.
Yeah, Jacob and I both got like really like we hopped up like we were grossed out.
And the kids, oh my god.
The kids were crying at the end of it.
I felt so bad. I looked over and I
will say, I am glad they're replacing it from a family friendliness standpoint. Plus, it was a 5-minute wait, so if a ride's a 5-minute wait the whole day, every day, it's probably not doing too hot.
Also, I'm just going to say one thing. Do not ride It's Tough to Be a Bug and the Figment ride right after each other.
Because Jacob and I did that. We had Living with the Land in between. But, yes, Jacob and I literally park hopped from Animal Kingdom to Epcot to ride these rides in order. I know, it's incredible. Jacob and I rode It's Tough to Be a Bug, and then Living with the Land, and then Journey into Imagination with Figment. All three of which had like 5-minute waits because they're all rides that desperately need a refurb, except maybe Living with the Land, because that's pretty good. But like,
The kids in front of us were so funny on Living with the Land.
yeah,
We'll tell you guys that.
yeah. There was a child behind us that just kept talking the whole time we were on Living with the
And it
Land.
was so funny.
And it was even funnier because we were recording and we were trying to like get it very serene and very peaceful and have the voiceover in it. And then the kid behind us, not her fault. I mean, she was like maybe 5 or 6, but like it was like deathly silent for the first half
Dad,
of our
look!
recording, and then it'd be, Dad, look, a tree. Dad, look.
That's the house I'm gonna live in.
So yeah, no, but anyway, so back to what we were saying about It's Tough to Be a Bug. So, rumor has it, I don't know what Jacob's source was, but he just showed me a source a few minutes before recording this, that It's Tough to Be a Bug will be getting replaced with a Zootopia attraction, which I think is going to sell way better. It's going to be a way smarter idea. Oh, also, side note, we'll probably dive deeper into this when we do this secret project that's coming up. But I almost spoiled the whole video. But when our next project, well, it probably won't be the next thing that comes out, but when this future project comes out, there will be a deep dive into. We were on It's Tough to Be a Bug, and one of the animatronics was just not there. Like, there's supposed to be an animatronic, and he was just not there. And there's only 2 animatronics in the whole attraction, because the rest is like a 4D video. So it was kind of weird, because like the lights went up like where it should have been, and he wasn't there.
I will say, it felt like Tough to Be a Bug was the attraction they cared the least about.
Oh no, literally they had. Well, tell you what, we'll save it for later. But it's great. It's great. You'll hear some funny stories about. We have funny stories about pretty much every ride that we went on in a certain amount of time, which we will not disclose until a future date. But anyway, jumping back to Zootopia, that's coming out for there.
Then we'll talk about Big Thunder Mountain.
And then Jacob, you want to take it away with the Big Thunder Mountain expansion?
So they're adding the big.
Was it Beyond Big Thunder?
Yeah, it's called Beyond Big Thunder, and it's all going with like this new Splash Mountain, like redo Tiana's like Buoy Adventure.
Bayou.
Buoy. Buoy. Bayou. Same thing.
Yep.
They both float.
Okay.
Replacing my boy Splash Mountain, but at least it's gonna be the same ride. We all know
Yeah.
it's gonna be the same ride. Which, weird thing is like that is like a top hit. So doing anything at a specific place is kind of weird because like it's like a big attraction.
What do you mean doing anything at a specific place?
I don't know. How much are we allowed to say? Like about it?
What about the secret project?
Yeah.
Are we just? What are you just gonna acknowledge that like, oh hey, when we happen to be roughly in the area where it would have been, it sure was hot outside, and it sure would have been nice to ride Splash Mountain.
Yeah. It's just like a weird thing where like it's just like in. You go on like it's like the one of the significant rides that you go on like every time you go.
Yes, yeah, and it's in a very, very prominent area. I wouldn't say in Disneyland it's in as prominent of an area, but in Disney World, it is right in between Big Thunder Mountain Railroad and Pirates of the Caribbean. And if there's not a ride there, it just makes it really awkward because the traffic doesn't have anywhere to really go, and the construction walls just congest everything. So, but
and
yeah,
for some reason, a ton of class trips were there.
that is true. There were a lot of children there. Anyway, Jacob, jump back to Beyond Big
we don't
Thunder.
know exactly what's going in, but we know it's it's the biggest expansion in Disney World history.
Interesting.
Which is the most interesting part, which is really specific, but also not that specific.
Yep. Yeah.
Which also goes with they're basically redoing every section of the park very slowly.
Yeah.
Like,
hurry up and fix Tomorrowland.
Tomorrowland. Tomorrowland is an okay place.
Hey, Tron Light Cycle Run, that's a great ride.
Great.
I think it's a good addition. Let's maybe get Autopia up to speed, like what they're planning to do with the Disneyland one. Do you hear that one?
No.
So Disneyland, Honda is gonna re-up the cars so that they're electric or hybrid, and do a nice overhaul on the ride, and it should look way nicer.
Yeah, because it's just so much.
Because the Autopia, literally, there's just gasoline fumes all around the area. Like,
Yeah.
You can just smell gas fumes. And it's like, all right, guys, there's no way this is good for anything. Plus, you know, there are some important things at the Disneyland park, like the people mover that doesn't work. And but in Disney World, it's pretty good. It would just help if they like cleaned out, if they got rid of Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor.
I think actually Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor is a good addition.
I think, well, here's my thing is, I think in that section they need another ride, like an actually good attraction, because you've got Laugh Floor, you've got Buzz Lightyear, which, you know, is quite interesting. We'll talk about that at a later date. So, but yeah, that section needs an update. But anyway,
oh my gosh, I just realized I forgot to do something.
What?
So, before the thing, there was a Reddit post. I'm on Reddit, okay? Don't make fun of me.
Jacob's a Redditor.
There was a thing where it's like there was mold on the Lightyear ceiling, and I forgot to look.
You know what? It's okay. It's all right.
Yeah.
But it's definitely believable based on the experience we had on that ride. Anyway, Jacob, let's try to get on the ride. Oh, wow, these 15 seats are closed? Why is there caution tape? All right. Anyway, so...
Anyway, we are treading a very thin line.
We're basically spoiling our whole next...
But, like, it's not...
a whole future episode.
It's an experience, okay?
It's an experience.
To watch it.
It might have to be two-parters now that we're talking about it. But anyway, jumping back to Beyond Big Thunder, plus, in addition to that, Jacob, did you have anything more to add? Because I was going to make a point.
I feel like it'd be really good for Big Thunder. I feel like that area specifically needs a restaurant.
Oh, they definitely do. Well, Disneyland used to have a version until Galaxy's Edge opened, called the Big Thunder Ranch, and I think they had a restaurant in there. But
also, we didn't get to see the Bear Jamboree.
That's true. Country Bear Jamboree was closed while we were there.
Respect.
R.I.P. They're killing off our guy, Big Al.
Big Al. He was such a cool guy.
So now they're renaming him something that's...
The ride was in disrepair, though.
That's true. Anyway, let's jump back to what I was going to say. So speaking of major expansions, Disneyland Forward should be coming out pretty soon. The official plans for that. But it looks like basically the strip of land adjacent to Disneyland and Disney California Adventure will be officially made into Disney Park, and there will be a new Avatar land added that will be accessible from both Disney California Adventure and Disneyland, as well as potentially an expansion on the Big Thunder property, as well as I believe New Orleans section might be expanded. I don't remember the exact layout, but I know that side of the park, not the Tomorrowland side, but the opposite side will be the one that's expanded on.
So
like the Frontierland.
And I will say probably why most of these expansions came out to be seen by the public recently was definitely because of Universal Epic Universe.
Oh,
Universal
100%.
put a ton of pressure on them as soon as Epic Universe. When Epic Universe opens, you're going to see a flood of people start going to Universal.
Oh, for sure. Because
it's got a hotel on property.
Mm-hmm.
It's got six new areas.
Five.
Five.
Well, 6 if you count
the main area.
The Main Street USA equivalent, but
yeah. And if you look at the videos of it, it is amazing how grand it is.
Yeah, I mean they have a hotel. There's going to be Universal Horrors themed area. You're going to have the new Nintendo area. You're going to have another one of the Harry Potter sections. There's going to be the Island of Berk from How to Train Your Dragon.
And it looks so cool.
And I think there's one other area, if I remember right. There's if I remember right, maybe I don't remember what. There might even only be 4 plus the entrance area. But regardless, it's going to work very well for their connected universe, especially for their Harry Potter segment, because that's what's always bringing in a lot of customers for them.
And I feel like they looked at their biggest properties and just those.
Yeah, they went Mario's doing really well in California and Japan where it's already open. Plus, they have teased that this version will be getting a Legend of Zelda expansion.
And
so
I will go. I will go. Yeah. Universal. I will go. I will stink and grab the sword.
Yeah, he'll get the sword.
They're totally gonna do the thing where you grab the sword out of the stone in Disney World.
Yeah, the sword in the stone.
They're gonna do the Master Sword, dude. I would feel so cool.
All right. But yeah, jumping back to Disneyland Forward, because that was what I wanted to make my But they're,
progressive to me.
but no, it's rumored that the Avatar area will be a lot bigger than the version that's at Animal Kingdom.
Which the Animal Kingdom one's like?
The Animal Kingdom one is pretty small,
It's
and
like
it only has 2 rides. This version is supposedly going to have both of the same rides, plus another major ride, and as well as some probably smaller child equivalent rides. So that should be pretty impressive.
It is really funny how like different, like you can tell which park is more structured. Like Disney, like when Disneyland's like, oh, we'll just put that there.
Well, the problem is Disneyland doesn't have any actual space, and so they just have to kind of squish everything in. Like, they should not have added Star Wars Galaxy's Edge to Disneyland. They should have added it to Disney California Adventure or waited till they got more land. Because the problem is Star Wars Galaxy's Edge takes up literally a back corner that is, like, very narrow and is between Toontown and Frontierland. And they had to completely get rid of half of Frontierland and reshape the actual rivers of America to get it to fit. So, like, guys,
Let's just say that Disney really just needs to like buy out half of Anaheim.
yeah, the problem is they did not, like, obviously Walt did not expect that they needed this much land, but they need more land. Anyway, are we ready to wrap this up, Jacob?
I feel like we're forgetting an expansion.
I'm sure we are, but you know what? We'll save it for a later date. Or we'll definitely totally remember it right after we stop recording.
Wait, I almost have it. Wait, there is this is very rumored, but there is a rumored expansion for like if you've been to Hollywood Studios, you know like where like the Fantasia area is that area is just so like
Oh, the Sunset Boulevard?
yeah, it's just so.
Oh, you got a good point.
Dude,
They need to put something there.
There's definitely plans to put stuff there. There's rumors for Frozen. Like they could do like a whole entire epic universe thing, just around that.
What would be really nice is if they took where Beauty and the Beast live on stage is, and they put in a Frozen ride. That would do really well. Or, hear me out, right? Because there's not really a cohesive Marvel area in any of the parks right now. Oh, obviously there's one in Disney California Adventure, although it's kind of lackluster. Yeah. But what they could do is they could replace Lightning McQueen's Racing Academy with a new Marvel-themed ride, and I think that would do.
Racing Academy?
It's on Sunset Boulevard. It's next to Rock and Roller Coaster.
Oh yeah.
So way down on that end. But you're right. There's not enough going on there. It's very. Jacob and I went down there, and the only people that are in that area are people who are going to go ride Tower of Terror. No,
Yeah.
There's no other reason.
Like there is just like restaurants.
To be fair, Rock and Roller Coaster was being repaired while we were in that area, so obviously it would have a little more traffic if Rock and Roller Coaster were open. But I mean, realistically, it's just such a weird area of the park. It made more sense that they expanded that way when the park was originally Hollywood themed, and they had to keep it kind of, not super IP based intellectual property and everything. But now that there's Muppets and Star Wars and Toy Story and everything, they got to do something over there.
So you know, like that one restaurant area, you could just destroy all that. Like
Yeah.
there's no like the restaurants there weren't open.
Yeah, there's literally a flat block of restaurants there, and then right behind it in the animation courtyard. If they just knocked out all of that, they got rid of the Voyage of the Little Mermaid and all of that, they could put in like 2 or 3. They could do the Avengers Land right there.
Yeah.
Put in 2 big e-tickets. Like they could do a clone of the Web Slingers ride from Disney's California
Make it all
Adventure.
symmetrical down like the street, and then just have Tower of Terror shoot out of it.
Yep, exactly. Anyway, let's wrap that up. Well, Jacob, you know who we have to thank? We have to thank our Patreon supporters. And we've got some sad, tragic news, Jacob. Joel Webb is no longer one of our Patreon supporters. He is graduated to just a regular friend of the show. And so we will still say thank you, Joel. We've appreciated having you on in the past. Maybe we'll have you on again sometime. And thank you for supporting the show. And we completely understand. But in addition to him, let's also say thank you to our regular Patreon supporters, Sam Shockmav, JJ Sebastian, and Josiah Keller. I almost said Joel Webb. All right, well, guys, thanks for tuning in.
Such a sad day.
Stay tuned for we're working on a new schedule now and some new shooting stuff.
It was just hard with the entire big project thing.
Yeah, we've got that big project, and we're trying to get everything narrowed in for that and dialed in. Plus, we've got a lot going on in our personal lives. So, but stay tuned. There should be some more content coming out really soon for you guys. All right, see ya.